आपादमौलिपर्यन्तां गुरूणामाकृतिं स्मरेति न विघ्नप्रणश्यन्ति सिद्धन्ति च मनोरथाः लक्ष्मीं तनोतु नितरामितरानपि क्षमङ्गृद्वयं निगमशाखिशिखा प्रवालं हैरम्बमम्बुर्हडम्बरचौर्यनित्यं विघ्नातिभेदधारधुरन्तरन्नः सर्वेषां स्वागतम्. This is the Saṃskāra session for the ninth shloka. Ninth shloka. अज्ञानमेवास्य हि मूलकारणं तद्धानमेवात्र विधौ विधीयते विद्यैव तन्नाश विधौ पठीयसि न कर्मतज्जं सविरोधमीरितम्. So the concept is ajnana. This ajnana is not a easy concept, and the vyakhya that has been given, the explanation, the definition that has been given for ajnana in many of the Upanishads, many of the ancient scriptures is not a normal one. Like in Shvetasvatara Upanishad, it says Devatma Shaktim Swagunair Nigudham. So it is a Shakti that belongs to God Himself. That means we are not saying that Ajnana is lack of knowledge of Paramatma. It itself is created by Paramatma. So the power belonging to God Himself, but it is so nigudha that it is hidden by itself. Its own qualities are so nigudha that it hides it. This is ajnana. So this ajnana has no birth. There is no janana for this, and there is no adi for us. That would be the right way to say. There is no adi. There is no starting point for us. A person is born with ajnana. One can get rid of ajnana. So there is death. The end is there. Antya is there. There is no adi, however. So this ajnana, in many texts, they have tried to give a definition of this and all that. So one text that is very categorical is that this ajnana is categorized into two broad classifications. One is called as samasti, the other one is called as vyasti. Samasti vijnana and vyasti ajnana. So what is that? Samasti is the nature. By nature, ajnana is similar. Whatever the ajnana, ignorance of cars, ignorance of sports, ignorance of something else, ignorance of one more thing. All these falls under one particular category of ajnana only. That is, they're all ignorance. That is not knowing. So in broad classification, that is in terms of its features, ajnana is very much the same everywhere. But then what happens when we go closer to that? That is, when we look at each and every ajnana, that ajnana is specific in itself. This is called as vyasti. So this is the classification. In Vedanta Sara, the explanation is that vyasti ajnana is like the tree in a vana. Each tree is different. Each tree is different. It has its own features. It has its own, some bear fruit, some don't bear fruit, some bear flowers, etc., etc., etc. They're all trees by nature, but however, they are different in its own. They are unique in themselves. But when we look at it collectively as a vana, all are trees. Therefore, they make one particular group. That group is samasti ajnana. So this particular classification has been given for ajnana. And in the same text in Vedanta Sara, they have given the consequence of ajnana. First, we need to understand what is ajnana in this context. So, vastu avastu. Vastu Satchidananda Dvayam Brahma Ajnanadi Sakala Jada Samuho Vastuhu. You have to split this. We'll get it as Vastu Satchit Anandam Advayam. That is Brahma. It actually starts from Vastuni Avastvaropaha Adhyaropaha. This is called as superimposition of ignorance. So what happens is that there are different things one may come across. Like for example, the two concepts of samskara and samsara and sannyasa. Now, a samsari will always feel that he is blissful. I'm not saying that he is facing some struggles or anything like that. He is very happy. That means no financial problems, no job problems, etc., etc., etc. All right. So, in that context, he is in a state of well-being. He is happy. So, can we say that he requires sannyasa, or will he ever think that I should go for sannyasa? He will not. The reason being, he feels that whatever he has is the best deal. Let us say he is exposed to sannyasa. Let us say he experiences Sat Chit Ananda, Sat Chit Ananda, Chitta, Sat Chit Ananda. Then he will have the opportunity to compare that Sat Chit Ananda. So there are Vastu and Avastu. Vastu is the matter at concern. So in this case, ignorance is not knowing, not understanding that the true Sat Chit Ananda, the true bliss is Brahma. Itself is Brahma. That Rupa, Chaitanya Rupa, that Sat, Chit, Ananda, Advayam. There is no duality. Advayam, Brahma. Knowing that is the truth. That is the truth. That is the eternal truth. So, not recognizing it, not trying to understand it, not trying to realize it is Ajnana. This is the broad understanding of what Ajnana is, because we are talking about spirituality, therefore we are thinking that way. If we have to put it into terms of sociological behavior, then we can say anything that I am not aware of, anything that I am not aware of, that I'm ignorant about, that is relevant. That is relevant to me. That means that is experienced by me is Ajnana. Therefore, this concept of Ajnana is very hugely developed. So, this uh, Ajnana is said to create something called as Adhyaropa. Adhyaropa means superimposition. They were this the most popular example in the Shastras is when Rajju. Rajju is a huge rope. Rajju is mistakenly taken because it is also, it is laying somewhere on the ground. Mistake it for a snake. So it is asarpa bhutayam rajjau sarparopavat. So that sarpa aropavat, speaking, okay, there's a snake. Suddenly you started panicking. This is called a superimposition, ajnana. Not having that knowledge, that is a rajju. That is a rope. Therefore, that is called as adhyaropa. So it goes on, vastuni avastvaropaha, avastu aropaha. So that means that when we, no, it is two parts. One is thinking what is not relevant to me as something that is relevant to me. That means, for a popular example, we can take that thinking about what would happen in a cricket match when I have I have no interest, or when I have no control over it. I know I don't have control over the match. Just by me watching it or not watching it, it's not going to change anything. But somebody have when the fanatics have that, no, when somebody is watching the match, somebody starts walking, then there's a wicket loss. Therefore, they say bad omens, good omens, etc., etc. So all those is because of this only. Vastu avastu bheda. So, vastuni avastu aropaha. Thinking that is something avastu, sorry, something up. a vastu that is relevant to us. That is not thinking that it is irrelevant to us, or think something that isn't relevant to us, giving it more importance, something that isn't in my control, giving more importance to that. This is also called as avastu, aropa, vastuni, avastu aropa, adhyaropa. Then vastu, what is the vastu? Then we have to define what vastu is. So if we're saying what is the matter of when we disregard, there is in research methodology also there is some the type 1 and type 2 errors. In type 1 error, what happens is that there is a null. Okay, I don't think it is relevant. Okay, vastu avastu only we will take. So in Vedanta Sara, for example, they define vastu as Satchidananda Advayam, Satchidanandam Advayam Brahma. So what is Brahma? What is the true form of Atma? Is true bliss, pure bliss, Satchit Ananda, and which is non-dual. Ajnanadi Sakala Jada Samuho Vastuhu Samuhaha Avastuhu. This is the Avagraha China over there. So Avastuhu. So what is the matter at concern? Understanding that Brahma is the true form of pure bliss, and that it is non-dual in nature. It is called as, that is the Vastu that is relevant to us. Then what is the Avastu then? Avastu is Ajnanadi Sakala Jada Samuhaha. Anything manifested, all the Ajnana, starting from Ajnana, anything that thinking that manifested form can give you true happiness is Avastu for us. And there comes Ajnanam. What is Ajnanam? Thinking that Avastu is Vastu, Vastu is Avastu. Okay, so Ajnanam tu Sadasadbhyam Anirvachaniyam Triguణatmakam Jnana Virodhi Bhavarupam Yat Kinchiriti Vadanti. So some people say that is how that they bought Kimbaranti Ityukte. They are saying Ajnanantu Sadasadbhyam Sat Asat Bhyam Anirvachaniyam. Anirvachaniyam. That means it cannot be described. Trigunatmakam. The Trigunas, Sattva, Tamas, and Rajas. Trigunatmakam. Jnana Virodhi, which means it doesn't gnana. Obviously, if you get gnana, that means jnana goes away. Therefore, it is jnana virodhi. It doesn't want. Ignorance by nature is spreading itself. When we talked about learned ignorance, we said that knowing that we don't know anything, yet we are perpetuating it. The nature of ajnana itself, that it perpetuates itself. Me not knowing something, that means me realizing that I don't know something, it needn't be necessary that I have to start learning it immediately, or there is an urge for me to start learning immediately. So therefore, it is jnana virodhi, bhava rupam. It is being it is an emotional, because ignorance is bliss, no? Not knowing what pain you are going through, not recognizing it at all, that is actually bliss only. Ignorance is bliss. When we don't realize there's so much this thing, uh, so much dukkha in the world, sorrow in the world, not realizing that is nothing but a bliss only. When we start looking at everyone, okay, that person is suffering, this person is suffering, the suffering itself becomes the point of discussion everywhere. Therefore, it becomes negative impact on your mindset. So therefore, ignorance is bliss. So therefore, it says bhavarupam. It is bhavarupam yat kinchit iti vadanti. So it is like this. So that is what they are saying. So yet it is said to be. So see, We said it is ignorance is bliss, yet it is said to be intangible and insignificant. Yet kinchit, small. Yet kinchit iti, kinchit, small amount. Kinchit iti nanti. So they say it is intangibly insignificant. It is. Ajnana is just one small thing. It is so small that jnana immediately destroys it. The minute jnana, jnanarjana happens, ajnana is dead. So it is so insignificant. It is just the effort from the seeker that is required. That is, the person has to seek the knowledge. Only then ajnana goes away. So this whole concept of ajnana has been very hugely described in many of the texts, in many of the entrants. That is, whenever we are talking about Brahman, whenever we talk about the Brahma Sutras, whenever we talk about any of the Vedanta schools, that is the last Shed Darshan of the Shed Darshanas, that is Uttara Mimamsa, when we go through that part, the entrance, that is the prakarana granthas will always define what ajnana is, because that is the most important concept. So this concept of ajnana is actually a very important definition that has been given, that has been provided by our ancient scriptures, ancients. So in this verse, that is the ninth verse, we are looking at ajnana as samskara. With this, we end the session. स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः प्रतिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीमहीषः गो ब्राह्मणेभ्यो शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि।